Hello and good evening. I'm Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning, and we are going to take a look at Dallas, Texas this evening for our forecast. I went with the whole U.S. map. Hopefully you can kind of pick out what's going on. It's 79 degrees and mostly clear right now in Dallas. It's a pretty warm evening, even by their standards for this time of year. And that's because we've got a pretty major system getting ready to develop over the plains tomorrow. You can already see some of the circulation here in Colorado looking at these wind barbs. It's southwest of Denver, north of Colorado Springs, and just to the southeast of Aspen. So there's a warm front running along the Nebraska-Kansas border. There's been a few thunderstorms in this area tonight, and this boundary stretches all the way into Michigan, where the bulk of the wet weather is right now. And then there is the cold front / trough sliding through New Mexico. And that is what's really going to be impactful for for Dallas tomorrow. Detroit's going to be fine. The first thing we should do is probably look at the Storm Prediction Center and see what they have to say. And I'm actually going to move things over a little bit so everybody can see what's going on. So this is the Day 2 outlook, so tomorrow's outlook. You can see the big red stripe here from southern Nebraska to about the Red River, actually. So Dallas is right here. It's in the border of the enhanced to slight. It's a pretty fair bet they're going to see some showers or storms. Whether or not they're severe remains to be seen. It looks like from central Kansas to western Oklahoma, that's where they're going to see the supercellular development, maybe a threat for some tornadoes and large hail. Whereas as it gets further east, it looks like it's going to be more of a line type of feature, which would mean straight line winds for the Dallas metro area. There's still going to be some hail, still going to be the threat for some tornadoes, but the bigger, badder tornadoes and larger hail are going to be in this area. So places like Wichita, Oklahoma City, etc. The places that often see it. And we can see the probabilistic outlook. This hatched area indicates the significant severe. So actually it does have DFW in the SIG severe area, so if they do see anything, that could mean very large hail or very large tornadoes. If that does come to pass, I think the better threat for the larger tornadoes, thunderstorms, hail, etc. are going to be up in this part of the world rather than down in Texas. We can look at the short-range model guidance to see what this has to say about this situation. You can see that the HRRR has a dot for Dallas and Fort Worth. And you can see a lot of the really heavy development is going to be from Wichita to Topeka in eastern Kansas, with some also pretty good-sized storms in central Oklahoma as well. But this is really what's kind of fueling my fear more for the northern reaches of the storm, rather than down by Dallas. And you can see there isn't a lot of huge development. There's some late over by Abilene, and this is going to be pretty late in the evening. So even if that does materialize, by the time it reaches Dallas, it's not going to have that same helicity, same rotation, same tornadic and hail threat. And obviously this isn't this is a model forecast. It's not a radar or anything like that. So anything could really happen. But it does give you an idea that late development is still going to be well west of Dallas, which would mean DFW itself should be safe, we'll say. We won't say they're going to be dry. We'll say they'll be safe. Whereas places to the north, your Wichitas and Topekas, Emporias, eastern Kansas, Stillwater, Oklahoma, Ponca City, those are the areas I'd be mostly concerned about. So let's look at the bigger, broader models. So you can see that area low pressure in Colorado getting ready to move into Kansas tomorrow, and then you've got your development later in the day. This is the NAM. The NAM is not nearly as aggressive or pinpoint with the GFS as the GFS is. There you go. That's what we're talking about. GFS really has a lot of the development coming late. That's 3Z, so that's more 9-10 p.m. tomorrow night. With the showers and thunderstorms in the Dallas area. But the good news is this is a 2-day forecast, so we can look ahead to Wednesday afternoon and see it's going to dry out pretty nicely in North Texas as that system marches off to the southeastern United States. Not to the southeast, it's more actually to the northeast from Dallas. So, yeah, the big threat is going to be late tomorrow night. I think, again, it's going to be a wind threat. The good news about the wind threat, it doesn't have that pinpoint destruction like a tornado does, and the hail's not going to be so large that it's going to be putting holes in windshields or anything like that. But the bad thing about a windstorm is that it covers so much more ground. So if you're in Dallas, there's a better chance you'll see a few branches down than if it was like a supercell where, like Grapevine might totally stay in the clear while Mesquite gets leveled. Those are just the first two cities in the DFW area that I thought of. But yeah, with a straight line wind event like this, everywhere is likely to see a little something, and I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So let's look at the temperatures for tomorrow. What did I just open? Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Let's see everything here. You can't obviously see the numbers, but you can kind of get a feel for the pattern. The cold front's not really going to do a whole lot for the temperatures. It's going to drop the low on Wednesday morning, a little bit lower than it was on Tuesday, but that's about it. Looks like highs are going to be low to mid 80s both tomorrow and Wednesday, with lows overnight tonight hitting about 70 and then dropping maybe to 65 for Wednesday morning. But that's not a real strong cold front in terms of temperature, but I tell you what, it's going to be pretty impactful in terms of the thunderstorms and how long you sleep tomorrow night. This is going to be where the real impact is felt. This is the dew point forecast. It's mid 60s to near 70, and then after the front passes down in the upper 40s. So that's where you're really going to feel the cold frontal passage. It's more of a dry line than a cold front. But that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I'm going to open it back up to the Storm Prediction Center's categorical forecast for severe thunderstorms and leave you with that thought. Again, a threat for a pretty significant outbreak tomorrow. I showed you exactly where. I think this stretch of the country through central Kansas and north central Oklahoma is going to be the part of the country that's going to be mostly impacted. But late night tomorrow, keep your ears on the radio. It might be a noisy night for you in Dallas. So with that, I am out of here, and I hope you stay safe in Dallas and enjoy your night the rest of the country. I'm Victoria weather meteorologist Ryan Henning. Again, if you would like to order a forecast for yourself through Victoria Weather, we have forms on the side of our website. It's victoria-weather.com. Just send your name and a location you'd like to be forecasted, have a forecast for, and a meteorologist with Victoria Weather will be in touch with you shortly. Have a great night.